We are live. Hello, everyone out there watching. In case you are wondering who I am, my name is Antonio Bryce. I am the creator of the comic book series brand. We have raised over $73,000 thanks to the kindness of good folks such as yourself. And if you actually want to check out my comic book, you can type in akaripress.com, or we even have a link in the description. You can read the first 21 pages of brand for free. I encourage you to do that. And we have another creator here that I want to showcase their project. It is called, make sure I get this right, Outlaw Nights, Genesis of a Renegade. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ben Fuselier to the fine channel today. And Ben, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, man.
Well, welcome. We are happy to have you here. Well, Ben, what brings you to the Akari Press channel tonight?
Well, I'm just hoping to introduce everybody to Outlaw Nights. Hoping to get some good traction on Indiegogo here. Outlaw Nights, it's a story that's been 10 years in the making for me. Originally started off as a pipe dream movie idea that, just got kind of pushed further and further back into my mind. And then eventually I decided to try to write it as a novel. And I got midway through the novel and I realized I hate writing novels. So,
okay.
So it was a little while after that I started paying attention to Comicsgate, mainly from EVS's channel. And I was really inspired by what everybody was doing, how, I was seeing this kind of grassroots movement coming up. And it just seemed to me like as the more I listened to you guys and the more I thought about it, the more I was like, maybe I could try working Outlaw Nights as a comic idea. And I realized after I outlined and then wrote the script, I realized like it works a lot better as a comic idea than as a movie idea, or at least in my opinion. So
that special effects budget, man, I know it's not nearly as expensive.
Oh God, yeah. And I mean the characters, you've seen Render Contender's artwork there. He's he really brought this thing to life for me.
And what was it? Render Contender actually was one of the art winners on the Graveyard Shift Volume 2, wasn't he?
That's correct.
Okay, that's why I was like, I knew that. I remember him. I think me and him have swapped some DMs and stuff. He's he one. I know, what was it? 2 writers and 2 artists, and he was one of the 2 artists. So I knew immediately when I saw the book. The art looked great. And matter of fact, let me get the book because I've got the link to Outlaw Nights is in the description. Let me actually pull this bad boy up and see, can we get some eyes on it. Let's see. All right, here he is. That and looks really good. Let's see. Okay, you have raised, at least as of this time, $480.
Yes.
Let's see. So let's go down. Now, tell me about the story. What is this about?
This takes place about 1,000 years from now, and I'm sort of coming at this from a history repeating itself kind of theme, where it's essentially the colonization of different planets, but it's not quite as vast or as broad as, say, like Star Wars or Star Trek is. Like it's sort of like these are like early colonial times where, the nations of Earth all control certain territories. And in the meantime, you got territories vying for independence, etc. So it's a tumultuous time. It's also, we're about 5 years in the wake of the end of World War III. And so now there's essentially been a boom in criminal activity, particularly in piracy.
Wait a minute. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Okay. So you just said first that we're like 1,000 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also said we're about 5 years removed from World War III.
Yeah, I know I'm being kind of generous. I know.
Well, I was like, if we don't went that long without having a war, I was like, wait a minute, what? All of a sudden we just took a step back. I was like, okay. I'd hope 1,000 years from now. Not to mention, I also have a bone to pick with you, sir.
Oh, Lord.
I see that you have a young Negro here in this photo, and everyone knows that there are no black people in the future. Everyone knows that. And so I have to question you for showing this young man standing here. It looks very nice, by the way. Who's your colorist?
That would be Prasad Patanik, also known as Press Colors.
Ah, okay. Yeah, very nice colors. Yeah, it's a nice, clean. But like I said, the page looks, the layouts on the page look like they're, nice effects on the colors. Those are things that I look for. I know I was doing sample colors on brand, and I got a couple samples in, and that was just, we were looking for a colorist, and that's one of the things I was looking at. Yeah, anybody can color, but then certain people don't take that extra mile.
Yeah.
So it's like nice. I'm looking at nice lighting effects, nice shading. I like this. You can see where what's this, a control panel or whatever, and you see the light source coming from the top, and then it's also coming from behind and around. And I like how the light is clearly like hitting this person, like it's coming. You can see there's a clear light source coming from the front, I guess where the monitor is, and then you see like a little right here, like on the headphones or whatever he's got there. It looks like he's getting hit just a little bit from the back, and you see that little spotlight on the chair. Those are little attentions to detail that I look for when I look at a good colorist.
Absolutely. I mean, they both, the artist and the colorist, have like blown me away. I lucked out big time when I met both of them.
Yeah. So tell me, because like I said, Render Contender actually won the Graveyard Shift Volume 2 art contest. So how did you hook up with Render Contender?
It was super simple on it. Like, really, I was on Twitter, and I was just looking at different artists' work from Twitter, and I saw a spread he did on there, and so I decided to follow him, and I just messaged him asking him if it'd be okay if I could mail him my script, because I wanted to have my script full and ready for an artist, and it was just sort of like I figured, okay, he's probably going to tell me no or something, or I'm sorry, I can't. But he looked at it, and he sent me this message telling me he loved the story and that he wanted to do it. And like my head exploded,
Well, it looked like his arm is exploding here. What's going on with this?
That is the villain of our arc, because this is going to be the first of hopefully a 6-issue miniseries. And hopefully I'll keep it going after that. I'd like to, but that just depends on what the people want. But yeah, that's the villain of our 6-issue arc here. His name is Taurus, and he's a pirate captain, but unlike the pirates we're going to meet first in the book, he is no nonsense, very erratic, will punish you for just looking at him funny.
Yeah, well, I can see, because I was like, cut this brother's arm off or whatever.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, that's not. I'm not down with that. I don't know what's going on. But what's that? Does he got like some kind of? Is that like a laser sword, or is that just a really sharp knife, or what's he got going on?
Just a futuristic looking machete.
I'm like, okay. I mean, nicely illustrated. And he's got these little writings on the little panels up here, the monitors.
Yeah.
And was that something that Render added in, or was that added in post colors?
That was Render. He
just highlighted it.
Yeah, he highlighted with those neon looking colors that just I don't know how the heck he does it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm looking at this, and then you look here, and he's opening the door, and then look at how the light source is shining in from the. That's why I'm saying you've got a great colorist. I was like, there's a
Yep.
lot of people. I keep saying that stuff, and I understand you just, it's an indie comic, and you trying to, cheap out on certain things. But
Yeah.
man, you can tell when someone goes that extra step there. Because I mean, you look at that, and the doors open here, and then the it's got like a red backlight there, so it's clearly shining in. Look at how that it doesn't fill the whole room though. It's right there at the door. Look how it's kind of hidden up under the cupboard here, right here where these monitors are. I was like, look at that. That's a pro right there. That's a great colorist right there. That's
Pussy colors, man.
yeah, that's why I'm like, look at that. Look, nice, clean colors on. He's got this. I guess these are like caution bands, whatever here. But man, look at that. Nice color. Doesn't overpower the page, and that's what I'm into. So I'm like, just great, great, great. Okay, I like this. It's like it's kind of almost reminds me of like a lot of sci-fi I've seen here. This is like more like a jump gate type thing or something, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's actually, yeah, I know it looks a lot like those type of gates, but it's actually a security checkpoint for that funnels ships through in a gravity well to get to the colony on the planet.
Okay, okay, I get it. But nicely, look, nice colors on the planet. Look at that. That's fantastic. Didn't skimp on the boob on this character. That's always a plus for me with the female characters. Because
Render is very boob friendly.
well, I'm cool with that though. That's what I'm saying. It's like I hate now modern comics. If a woman has breasts, then you're a sexist, and she's got to have flat chest like a boy and everything. So, I'm cool with that. So yeah, I'm looking at it. I was like, man, nicely illustrated. Again, great color. Your colorist is a star here. It should be getting a lot more work. I'm looking. I'm like, I know Ethan was talking about looking for some more colorers because he's gonna be recoloring Cyberfrog, the old issues and stuff. Although he's saying that he might pass on that so that he can get the book out by Christmas. I still think and I was saying I hope he still has it colored. I'd like to see those old issues recolored in the hardcover. But yeah, your colorist looks like someone that Mr. Van Sciver should be talking to. I really, yeah, your colorist is great, man. I was like, this is awesome. Yeah, oh, man, I'm disappointed I ran out of stuff. I was like, yeah, there you go. I was like, let me see the next page. Let me check this out. I mean, look at that. Great, great colors. Nice, clean artwork. Render Contender. Just fantastic job there.
Absolutely.
Let me see. Let me actually go back up. Bravo, sir. Hopefully people are showing this. I mean, guys, if you have a few extra shekels, please, get out there and matter of fact, tweet this out, share it, tweet the campaign out, let people get eyes on it. Cause these are projects that deserve to be back. So as of right now, Ben, you are 6% funded. You're trying to raise a total of $7,000, and then I see you got 58 days left. So what you launched last night or the night before?
The night before last.
Okay, so yeah, so you've been on. All right, so let's actually get into your perks now. One thing I did mention to you before we went on the air is when people come to your page, they need to see, I believe they need to see a featured perk. It puts a nice little highlight on it. Out of all these perks, which one do you recommend the most? I don't know which one that is. So which one is, if you had to pick a perk, if I'm a backer, which one would you recommend that I check out?
Well, I think you should check out being drawn into the comic as a pirate.
Okay. So let me see. Let me go down and check that one out.
Now we actually I have sort of a dummy place. I have sort of a placeholder image for that right now. Right now, as we speak, Render is finishing up a last piece of promotional art, and I'm going to get that over to Pressy as soon as I can. And that's going to actually be the image we're going to use for that perk.
So let me see here. Should you choose to select this prestigious perk, you will not only receive Outlaw Nights, but you will be in it. Our artist, Render Contender, has graciously offered to draw anyone who selects this as pirates and extras. Oh my, George Takei voice. All right, let's get it in. So you've got a let me see. The featured perks are what is Outlaw Nights issue 1, and then you got a free copy of the digital preview. And how many pages is this book, by the way?
It's currently going to be 48, but we have stretch goals to extend that. If
48 pages, okay.
Yep, I think if we can hit about 15,000, that's we're gonna extend it about 10 pages. If we can hit the miracle number of 25,000, I'm gonna add 40 more pages. So this is gonna be 93 pages.
Oh wow. Okay, so I'm back up at the top, and we're on your first perk here, Outlaw Nights issue 1. So I'm assuming this is. Are you signing the books, or are you just going to ship them out as is, or what are you doing?
I'm just shipping them out as is because this is my first anything. I don't think my signature is really worth anything.
Well, I mean, you're the writer though, so
yeah,
the book takes off having a signed issue. But let's see. But yeah, I'm not anybody anyway, and I'm signing mine. But
yeah, but Brand is that was one of the first books I backed. I thought that looked awesome.
Yeah, but no, but see, that's the thing. It's like man, like this is my third shot at it. Nobody was checking for it the first 2 times that I added up. So unfortunately, it's like I always, but first of all, thank you for backing. But I just man, I always it always shocks me. Different reasons people have told me that they checked out Brand. They saw me on Ethan, or Malin or any of the other channels I've been on. And, they start looking at Kanan's art, and, Kanan's art sells me too. So, so so you got $25 here for this first issue of Outlaw Nights. Yep. Do you know what your shipping is?
You mean like in terms of my total or in terms of like what the shipping costs are for each perk?
Well, what's your shipping running like? I don't know what you're charging for shipping in addition to 25.
Oh, I'm charging $8 US.
It's not bad.
But I'm charging like 15 international.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man, that international is a beast. Whew. All right, so
I hate gouging people like that. I had no choice.
Well, it actually may get worse. One thing I was hearing was that the U.S. Postal Service was pulling out of the international. There's some article that's going around where they're saying that that international shipping from the U.S. might shoot up a little bit, which would suck. Because I've got a lot of international backers, and I'd hate that.
Oh yeah.
But let's see, Outlaw Nights, black and white, no text. So is this a different book?
I'm offering the book as just the black and white artwork and without any text or anything. Like it's just an art book kind of the book.
So, but it would be the same pages, but it's just, just straight black and white, no text.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to try that out.
Okay. My thing is, now, let me be honest with you, because you just, no one knows what your book is. And they're looking at it, they can see it, but that might be something that you offer later on once the word gets out a little more. I don't know if that makes sense, because you're going to have to print those books as well.
Okay.
That's just me from the outside looking in, because I'm like, I would focus on trying to get this issue funded, and then then you can add some extra bells and whistles, or when you come back with book 2, you can go, hey, I've got book 1 in black and white preview mode, or something like that. Sometimes because that's one of the things I've noticed with brand, no one knows who I am, but they see Kanan's art and they go, oh wow, look at that,
Mm-hmm.
And now that I have, I've got over 2,300 backers now. Now I'm getting messages like, are you going to do like a black and white edition? That would be cool. That kind of thing. So I'm getting, you had to kind of build that interest up yet.
Okay.
But that's just me. Outlaw Nights, artwork only. Now, what's going on with this?
It's pretty much a similar concept to the last perk, except this one's going to be color.
Okay. So, Ben, are you trying to spin yourself into the poorhouse? I got to ask.
I actually thought that would probably be cheaper.
Well, here's the problem. You still have to work the print file. And most likely this perk and the perk above, you're not going to sell as many. So your print run's going to be smaller. And the smaller it is, the more expensive it's going to be.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
I
you
could
get
rid
cheaper
of those.
that's why I was like, I'm like, dude, you trying to bankrupt yourself. Don't do I'm telling you, because a lot of people asked me about this stuff, and I made a lot of mistakes that first campaign. And I was like, I get it. Add extra value by, offering sketches and stuff like that. Anything that's going to add to your print costs, which these two books that you got, the black and white book and the other, those are going to add to your print costs. It's going to add to your shipping costs.
All right.
Yeah, because they're going to have to ship you this stuff. Because that's one thing I noticed when I was getting my quotes. I've got on this first book, I've got 4 different covers. So I've got the main brand cover, and then I've got 2 variants and a sketch cover. And so I have to print each one of those separately, and then they have to ship it to me.
Yeah.
Something I didn't think of.
There's a lot I haven't thought of, honestly.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Because the book looks too good not to get funded. It just looks like, I was like, I don't know if he thought that through.
Yeah.
And then, like, say if the book takes off and you have to expand your printing cost, then that's going to expand your printing costs on the other books as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, the more you add. So Comics Legend says, keep it simple. I agree with that. Yeah, don't add. Like I said, this is your first out. The book looks great. Just showcase the book. This is your Mercedes right here. The book is your Mercedes. Don't overshadow it with other things.
Okay.
Let's see. You got Outlaw Nights and a digital preview for $30. So I'm assuming that's just the regular copy, and then you give them the preview.
Yes.
For extra $5 there.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see, digital plus print. Okay, so what's going on there?
Figured we would do you get a hard copy as well as the digital file.
Okay, so this isn't just a preview of the digital. This is going to be the full book. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get the full book plus the print version of it shipped out to you. Okay,
yep.
$45. That's not bad. Okay, and then 2 physical copies of Outlaw Nights. Now, it's the same cover, or do you have a variant cover that you're offering?
Those are just the same cover.
Because that's something. Now, that's something that you could definitely do. You could offer a cover A and a cover B. A lot of people that are collecting, you could have a second cover commissioned. I know we did that with what was Christopher Rue, Iron Skies. That book, he had like some kind of cover featured on his campaign page, and he was on my channel. And then when we got off the air, we started talking, and I told him that I could have Kanan do another cover for him because I'm Kanan's art rep. And so we worked out that situation, and then when that happened, I texted Kanan's cover to Ethan Van Sciver. I texted to him, and he was like, "Whoa, what is this?" And I showed him the project because Kanan's cover really stood out. And then he reached out to Christopher and had him on the show. He's been on a few times, and now he's raised over $15,000, which is fantastic. And I know he's got like 2 versions of Kanan's cover. He's got like a black and white version, and he's got the color version. That so that like those are things that you can kind of control, because all you just still have to have your original print file, and then all you have to do is switch the cover file out. So it shouldn't really whoever's doing your print file, all they have to do is just switch the cover file out. The rest of it is already done because you're not changing anything else in the book.
That'd be cool.
That's what I'm saying. So, for physical and a digital, $75 here. So I'm assuming that's 4 copies of the book.
Yep.
Now, see, this is where I get into like variant cover stuff again. You could do like if you get the 4 physical, say you got like a ultra rare variant or something, you get like 4 physical and digital. Like, okay, well, if you get this one, you can get you get 3 regular copies, and then you'll get the variant, 1 copy of the variant. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying these are little extra perks that you can do that can add value and entice backers to get in.
Okay.
Let's see, and then we talk about this, and this is you actually getting drawn into Outlaw Nights, which, like I said, as you can see, Render Contender is an exceptional artist. Yeah, great. I can see why Mr. Malin picked him to win that contest. And as a Graveyard Shift 2 backer, I am very much looking forward to seeing his work showcased in Graveyard Shift 2. So I'm very him and Cal Jameson and some of the others that won. And then, okay, so now you got comic and artwork. So I thought Render was a digital artist. Is he actually doing his work traditionally? Oh, he is.
He's a digital artist. He just he actually came up with the idea to do this, and he was like, "I'll do 10 pages by hand, and we can sell them as an extra perk." So I was like, "All right, man. If you want to do it, by all means."
Okay. Well, so I see you're only offering 10 of those.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not bad. And you get the comic as well. So, okay, that's all your perks. Let me pull back up out of here, and we'll get to know you a little bit. I am talking with Ben Fuselier, and he has a book called Outlaw Nights. It is on Indiegogo right now. It is on day 3, I guess.
Yeah, we're getting into day 3, even though technically it's still day 2, but Indiegogo's weird.
Aha! There you go. But let me pull this out, and then we'll get back. And okay, so Ben, let's talk about you.
All righty.
Let's get into your background there. I see you from New Orleans.
Yep.
And let's get to know kindler, gentler Ben. Tell us about young Ben.
Oh, you want to go all the way back?
I want to know. I want to feel like I know you. And it makes me. I've noticed that as people get to know you and they see you as a genuine human being, it makes them more comfortable. When they look to back your project.
Well, I was born and raised in uptown New Orleans.
Gotcha.
I've always been a goofy, imaginative guy, mostly into comedy, but I had my side where I was into epics and sci-fi and big stuff. And I got into film school. Originally, my plan was to be in Hollywood. I realized how freaking venomous Hollywood is, or that pursuit is. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, no thanks. But I decided I'm to do the indie film route, but I've been kind of on and off with it. And my big passion is in screenwriting and in writing stuff in general, but I mean in screenwriting, in acting, in editing, stuff like that. I'm really good at editing when it comes to these pages. Like when Render and all them send me these pages, I'm really good at giving my notes and all that. But well,
I'm about to say, let me ask you about that, because I know how I work with Kanan. Like Kanan, what happens? I send him the script, and then he breaks them down into pages, and he gives me like a rough layout, and it'll have the storyboards on it and everything, so I can see it's rough, but it's enough detail where I can tell what's going on. I was like, okay, oh, there's Dawn. Okay, boom, 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 and I was like, okay, I know what this page is. I know this is something here. I know what's about to happen here, and so now I'm just gauging to see how closely he followed the script and if there's something I need to have him tweak before he gets into the heavy rendering. So I don't know. Since working digitally like that, it's a lot easier because I doubt anyone that's drawing traditionally has like, hey, let me fax you or send you via email my rough layout of this, and then if I need to change it, because you're at that point you're starting to work on Bristol board and everything.
Yeah.
So, but digital affords you one. But one thing I will say, even the pages, we sold a few traditional pages for Brand, and Kanan would go in and he would do the layout digitally, and then once we thumbs up on it, then he could print those pages were marked as traditional pages, so that he could print the outline on paper, and then he could go in and do his pencils on it, and then he would scan that in, and then he would do the inks digitally. So,
oh damn.
Yeah, so yeah, it ended up working out pretty well. So I was very happy with that. So yeah.
I was ultra specific in my script. Like, you know what I mean? I went almost obsessive compulsively about, like, I'm like, this character looks like this. They've got this, that. They're wearing this, and so really, Render and I work very well together. Number one, he's very professional, and number two, he kind of reins me in a little bit sometimes. Like I think there was a page we were talking about recently. It's actually the one he's working on now, where I think in my script I had like 6 pirates in the background doing something, and he's like, "Yeah, I had to reduce that number down to focus in and all." And I'm like, "Yeah, like." So it's really good. It's like we're both kind of writing it together in a sense,
Well, yeah, and I would say that because there's sometimes where Kanan, I was like, I need the next 10 pages, the layouts for him, and he'll send them to me, and then like we'll do like because we're in different parts of the country, so we'll kind of do like a conference call type deal, and we'll go over the panel because I was like, okay. And he goes, I know what you're about to say. It looks like I changed something here because I know my script. So I was like, wait a minute, something's wrong. And he was like, the reason I changed it is because you mentioned this in the script, but from a visual standpoint, it doesn't make sense to have this coming, and so it looks, to shoot the angle from here, and then we can go into the next. And I go, that's actually true. Yeah. And so there you go. So it makes sense. And, Kanan has pretty good insight. I've enjoyed the way he lays out pages. So, that's being able to work with the artist is a big deal. So I definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, okay. So are you actually a comic fan? It sounds like you were kind of just like in the sci-fi or something. I don't know if you're actually
it's like, in a sense, I was kind of an outlying comic fan. Like, I was aware of Spider-Man and Superman and all that, like, but I read a lot when I was younger. I read a lot of those compilation, like, Scholastic books where they would kind of just give you the full-on history from the comics. I read a lot of those, and I ended up liking the characters that way. And I think down the line, once when I was in my early 20s, I was working at a grocery store, and a buddy of mine was a big DC Marvel fan, and he would bring his comics to work. And like, there'd be times where it'd be so lazy at the store that he'd just give me one and I'd start reading them. And so I really liked the direction they were going in the beginning of the 2000s. I liked the mix of gritty along with realism, but the crap I'm seeing right now, or it was like 20 steps backwards. But I think the last comic I bought myself, like hardcover was Hush, Batman Hush.
Oh, I've got the collected trade of Hush because
Yeah,
I
that's what
don't
I have.
a lot, but well, I mean they've got it in the hardcover. That's why I was like there was actually a really nice limited edition of Hush in a hardcover. I saw they released Hush so many times. They had like a prestige format, black and white of all Jim Lee's, and it was like there was one I saw where it had like the pencils and everything. I was like, wow. And they've done the same thing with Kingdom Come. DC will milk the hell out of that. They were like, all right, let's okay, here's Kingdom Come with just the art, no words. Boom. So here's a whole book. Here's a hardbound, and it's signed by Alex Ross and Mark Waid and limited to only 1,500 copies, blah, blah, blah. And then here's the regular hardcover edition that anybody can buy or whatever. And, it's that kind of thing. It's like, oh, Alex Ross will do a sketch in there. And, it's like they do all that. So they've released Hush. I've noticed they released Hush so many times. They released Watchmen several times because they've kept Watchmen in print. They've kept Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns. They're like, oh, this is the 30th anniversary hardbound edition. And, you get like this over, and it's like it's signed and got a remark from Frank Miller on the inside. And then you end up having to pay like $400 or $500 for the, but it's a nice, beautiful looking. I had the privilege of talking to Jeff Smith a few weeks ago on this channel, and when I got off the air, one of the things we had talked about before we went live was that he was in his 25th printing of the collected edition of Bone, where they take every issue front to back and collect it in one thick. And before we went live, I was talking to him and his assistant.
Oh, damn.
And I had right next to me, because I wanted to show it on the air, I had the floppy version. I had the soft cover edition of Bone, the collection. I mean, things like this thick. Because it's every issue. And it's like, boom. He said, okay, so you bought that. I also had a limited edition pen set. I think it was limited to 1,500, and he had signed it. He was like, oh, wow. He said, I remember signing those. And he was just, he was very happy that I was a fan. And he said, you got the collected edition. He said, we actually just released a very nice looking hardbound color edition of Bone. And I was like, all of a sudden I started salivating. I was like, oh. And I was like, wow. And so we, went live, did the interview, went off the air, and I got to talk to him again for a few minutes before he had to go. And I was like, can I buy one of those? Because he said they're on Amazon. I was like, I'd like to get one of those signed. Is there a possibility? I was like, I can send you the money. I would very much like to get one of those hardbound colored editions signed. And he goes, you know what? He said, send my assistant your address. He said, I'm going to send you a copy. Don't worry about it. And I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, because I had statues. I had Bone statues. I bought a couple of Bone statues. I've got, all kind of comics and stuff. I was a big Bone fan. So, and sure enough, we went off the air. And she was like, hey, Antonio, that Jeff really liked talking to you. He told me to get your address. And I sent my address. And, about 10 days later, this package showed up at my door. And I mean, it was a big box. It wasn't, because like I said, it's the whole thing. And let me tell you something. The Bone hardcover colored edition, it has a slipcase, hardcover, every page is colored. And when I opened it up, Jeff had signed it. He'd autographed it to me. He drew Phone Bone in there. And I was just like,
oh, damn.
It was fantastic. And it was, it was like I was 16 years old again. Because that's like, I was 16 when I think it came out in 91 or something, when Bone first came. Yeah, I was like 16 years old. So, I was in high school.
Damn. And
man, it was such a thrill to get to talk to Jeff. And I suspect, I know he's working on another book, which is collecting his web series Tukey, which is about like cavemen from like 6 million BC or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's my kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I actually suggested to him, I was like, I think you need to do like crowdfunding on that. But he was just like, no, I got my book deal. I don't need to and then, but he's friends with Doug TeNapel. They had like contributed to each other's books, and I know he wrote a foreword to one of Doug's books, and Doug drew like I think he drew Bone. It was, I said, the pinups online, actually. You can like type in Doug TeNapel Bone and it'll come up. And he drew something that got published in one of the Bone books and everything. So they're buddies. And I told him I knew Doug, and Doug had relaunched Earthworm Jim. And I said, he raised, almost $800,000. And all of a sudden Jeff perked up. He was like, that's he thought I was gonna say like 100. It was like, he's like, really? That much money? He said, maybe I need to rethink this crowdfunding thing. And I was like, because he said, I don't know if you know this, but Bone's been pretty good to me. And I was like, yeah, because he's always been printed in like 34 different languages, all this kind of thing. So that's one of the things, as if this thing takes off and you continue to have collected edition of Outlaw Nights and everything, you could have it translated into different languages. I know I had talked to one gentleman about possibly doing a Spanish version of Brand, where he takes my script and he can translate it,
That'd be great.
Yeah, I really thought about that. I was like, wow. I was like, because right now it's just in English. But I was like, what if I offer and I could do like, even if it was just a digital version, for like Comixology, I could put like a Spanish version of it and have him translate the script. I thought that would be a good idea, and he told me how much he would charge for that.
Definitely increase the market.
Yeah, that's why. I want everybody to read, and I'm sure you want everyone to read Outlaw Nights.
As many people as can, as long as they're over 17.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one thing I meant to ask you, that when I saw that image of the pirate chopping the other guy's arm off. This is definitely not a book for the kiddies.
No, not at all. Strong language.
Okay, so no, because like I said, Mr. Contender was very generous with the bosoms. There's no nudity in this.
No.
Oh, damn! I was looking forward to that. I was like, okay,
you got to save something for later.
Oh, so maybe later home might get it. Okay, because I was like, man, he's nice young ladies, healthy. She's healthy there, and I was digging that. Like I said, my tip of the cap to Render Contender for not wussing out and drawing the young ladies like flat chested young men. I definitely appreciated that. So I just I don't know what's going on in modern comics where it's like she's got a big chest. You have to digitally, because when I talked to John Malin one time on my channel, that was one of the things. They had went in and like edited his work without this work had been signed off.
Yeah, that's messed up. Like you don't screw with somebody else's artwork.
Yeah, and that's, and he said they saw the art and the editor signed off on it, and then they when it hit the preview, they sent out a preview catalog or whatever, they had went in and digitally gave her a boob job, I guess. And that's I just that stuff like that really bothers me. So
well, I'm annoyed because my favorite video game of all time is being remade, Final Fantasy VII.
Yes,
they reduced Tifa. They reduced her down to a C cup. I'm not happy.
Yeah, see, that's not good, man. I really don't know. Here's the thing, and I've talked to a couple of opposite-minded folks, online, and we obviously have differing opinions. And one of the things I said, you guys actually think you're saving people when you're doing this stuff, and you're pushing the fans away.
If anything, they're kind of increasing the allure of seeing big boobs because now it's become forbidden.
Yeah. Or what was that game that came out? I guess was it late last year or early? It was a war game, but they put the woman in with the cybernetic arm and all this kind of.
Oh thing. God, that was one of those Call of Duties. It was supposed to be World War II, but this woman's got like it's a woman soldier.
Was it Call of Duty? I thought it was a different franchise. I was like, but it's definitely a shooting game one of those warriors. But yeah, she's got a cyborg arm, and I was like, yeah. And then you wonder, and like they released the game, and it didn't. That's the thing. The fans, when you see Battlefields. Okay, that's what it was. I was like, okay. Battlefield 5. Okay, yeah, Battlefield 5. So let me get jalapeno milk. But yeah, Battlefield 5. That's why I was like, I remember that. I saw the trailer and I was like, if you're gonna spend, because these games, I know just from talking to Doug TeNapel about the time he spent like doing the Earthworm Jim video game and stuff, and that game did over $70 million like 27, 28 years ago. That was a long time, and then they did the follow up, and now there's a new Earthworm Jim game being, they spend millions of dollars. So you would think from a business sense, if you're developing a property like that, and video games are heavily male in demographic. It's just like one of the things I saw something from the NBA where that guy, Adam, I'm trying to remember, was it the Adam? I can't remember the commissioner. He wants to make put more female refs in and make sure there's more female coaches and stuff in the NBA. They want to open it up to everyone. They want to, and I was like, they have a WNBA, and they have a lot of female staff there, obviously, but they have some male coaches on the team. A lot of women's collegiate basketball. They, most of the people coaching in women's collegiate basketball are women. They have some, obviously what's a Gino Torriena at Connecticut, UConn. But most of the major women's programs have female coaches. So I don't see a shortage there. But for whatever reason, he feels like, hey, we need to allow more women. We need women refs and we need women coaches in the NBA. We need to open this up for everyone, but you're not going to have women players. So I don't know. Men talk to men differently, in my opinion.
They just keep. I'm so sick of people talking like suddenly it's like, oh, it's 1970 all of a sudden. It's like these are the first time for these things, and it's like, give me a break. Like, it's been going on for a while now. Like.
And yeah, now they're trying to get they're doing the same in the NFL. I saw Roger Goodell saying, hey, we want to open this up, and they're having some of the line judges and stuff like that. They're trying to have some kind of program where they're bringing in women to be line judges in the NFL, and And I've watched, there's footage of referees. Sometimes the guys are playing and they end up hitting the refs and stuff like that. So you don't have some big 250, 300-pound guy just run into some chick that's like, pow, and knock her out. And I guarantee you that's going to be a bad visual on television. They're going to, it's because I've seen they got like some 55-year-old dude get hit by, a linebacker or something because he's trying to make a play. Plow, plow. Those guys don't have all that help. And I'm sitting there going, so you really want to put, you got to really be in shape to be an NFL ref. And so I always see that guy with the guy, Ed Hockley. He's been an NFL ref. He's been an NFL ref and refed at the Super Bowl at least 5 or 6 times. And that dude's he's 58, 59 years old. But they don't have a referee union in the NFL. I think they do in the NBA. And they don't have a union. So in the off season, when he's not in the NFL, he's a lawyer. He's been a practicing lawyer for 30 years and stuff. He's been practicing the law for 30 years. So I was like that. And that dude, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. They had a umpire strike or ref strike. And then the NFL signed, they came up with an agreement with those guys. And because there was a blown call on a Monday Night Football game I saw. And all of a sudden, Ed got to go on the cover. And that dude is jacked. He's like I said, he's almost 60 years old. And he's got he had veins come through it. He's got these. They did a feature on him showing his workout and everything. You got to really be in shape to be running around with those guys that are 25 and 28 years old and stuff. So yeah, let me take a 5'4" young lady that's like 120, 110 pounds, and hope she don't get smacked around on the field trying to, I just, that kind of stuff. Or when those guys get mad at each other and try to break it up, and then the guys have to jump in there and try to stop. But this is the insertion of social justice into everything that we do, because I saw Roger Goodell's like, yeah, we'd like to have offer a few opportunities for females to coach on the football staff. And I know the Arizona Cardinals had a woman. I think she'd come from one of the universities. She had been at like one of the Division II schools or something as like a running backs coach or something. And Bruce Arians, that was the coach of the Arizona Cardinals at that time. He's coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. He was like, hey, you want to come work on my staff? So I don't know where she is now. But he gave her a job on there. I mean, and I think they were trying to make a statement, but I've noticed it's like it's inserted in everything. So it's in the video games, it's in the movies, it's in, anything, any television that you're watching now. It's like you're not gonna, you can't just do a sitcom now because the woman's got to be like you got to have a sassy female lead that just puts men in their place. Is that kind of thing.
It's supposed to be, it's supposed to be the funniest thing you've ever heard. Even though I've never laughed at it, but
yeah, that's why I was like, I honestly feel like I was like, I don't know how to cure it, but there's the entertainment field, it's been infected somehow. I don't know how to cure it, but it's definitely been.
In a sense, like what we're doing, is the best way. They make alcohol illegal. We open up our speakeasies.
Oh wow! So you go back to being the 20s again.
Exactly.
Is that what we're doing? Oh, now see, that would be that. Now, like saying Outlaw Nights, that could be what started it up. say World War III, because you said it. Your story takes place a few years after World War III is broken out. What if World War III was a culture war originally? What if it started? I thought, I know that probably sounds perverse, but I was like, what if it started as a culture war?
Well, there are, there are going to be little hints later on in the series of, kind of the background of what happened on Earth. Earth, like, we don't go to Earth for a good while, not in the book, and it's not in this book right now. We call Earth the inland, and all the various space territories are called the outlands.
Okay, because like I said, and matter of fact, as we're getting towards the end here, I want to pull your book back up because I want people. Had a few people pop in here since then. Let me actually pull it back up for the new folks that are just now getting here. Okay, so this is Ben Fuselier. And this is his book, Outlaw Nights, Genesis of a Renegade. And this is him. He's the writer, and the artist is Render Contender, who was one of the winners of the Graveyard Shift Volume 2 art contest. Yeah, he won that, and he is doing this book as well, and it looks great. Look at this. So please check it out. Look, great colorist. Look, check out this. He's got some affordable tiers here. Guy getting, oh man, bless that dude, getting his arm chopped off there. I don't like that. And and I love this. And the young woman is she's healthy. I like her.
Yes. Very vibrant.
But I mean, just look how he draws the arms here. Like, look at that dude, man. That dude got the veins. You can see the veins coming up. Nice shading technique here, but he's got the guy's veins showing up. And even on this arm, I said, man, look at that dude. That dude is jacked, bro.
Everybody works out in space.
Yeah, that dude is, I'm looking at it, I was like, my God, look at that dude, man. That dude's arms are jacked, bro. I was like, I was about to eat me a sandwich, but now I feel like maybe I could skip a meal or something. I'll get like that. But I was just like, oh, I don't know about that, man. But right now you're at $480. And man, yeah, let's see, can get a few more eyeballs on it and get you a little help. But
Thank you, sir.
people will come in and watch this, but what I want you to do is, before we sign off here, give us another rundown of what Outlaw Nights is about. Tell us about it.
Okay, so Outlaw Nights centers around our protagonist, Cyrus Lawson. He's a colonial security officer, and he's just he's at a point in his life where he's been through a hell of a lot with the tumultuous time he lives in. So he's essentially just trying to live out kind of a quiet existence in this out of the way colony called Therese. But that gets interrupted because the pirate crew of Hazard blows through holding up an art gallery. And I can't quite tell you exactly how it happens because I don't want to blow it. But
Right.
Cyrus gets kidnapped by these pirates. And so he's gotta survive while at the same time he's learning more about them, because Cyrus is very much old-fashioned in his view of people, in that it's like, if you're a criminal of any kind, you're scum. I hate you, And of course, these guys got to show him that the world is not that black and white.
Okay, well, Ben, if and the link, of course, to Outlaw Nights is in the description there. If you guys, and I saw my good buddy there and mod Chauncey Blakey, he was dropping bombs in the chat room there, so people can actually look at it. Ben, if people want to reach out to you, if they want to follow you on social media, how do they reach out to you there, brother?
I have a YouTube channel. I go by pretty much this name, Fusebox, only I treat it like fuse is one word and box is the second word. And also, I have a Twitter account. It's my name, @Fuselier Ben. I know that's a pain in the butt. It used to be my personal Twitter, and I sort of converted it into my promo Twitter.
But that's so, yeah, Fuselier. So your name, your last name first, and then all one word.
Yeah.
Okay. So no Instagram, none of that kind of stuff. Website, any of that?
Oh, I got a Facebook. It's my name again. It's Benjamin Fuselier.
I'm saying is it a business Facebook? Because I got a business Facebook.
Oh, it's a personal Facebook.
Oh, okay, yeah. I got, because I have a personal Facebook, and I have a business Facebook, so that I can promote all this stuff. And
I probably should do that. I've just been kind of, I think most of it is that I was getting tired of social media in general, and I'm mainly kind of keeping it around to promote my stuff. Yeah, social media is getting, Yeah.
Well, yeah, I feel you on that. All right, guys. I've enjoyed this conversation. My thanks to Ben Fuselier for being here today. Please, if you come in later tonight, because I tend to get a lot of overnight people checking out these streams, while they're working, and they always get people saying, "Hey, man, I was listening to you while I was at my job working." So if you happen to check it out later, obviously you will see that the artwork is definitely top notch. It's beautifully colored. Get out here and support these independent creators and help us keep making cool stuff. That is. But Ben, is there anything you would like to say, about your book, or anything to snag in a backer or two before we sign off the air?
Oh, I can tell you that the amount of time and effort I put into this story, I'm telling you, it's got my heart and soul in it. It is going to be a great story. Render's artwork is sublime.
Absolutely.
This book is well worth it, guys. So come and get it. And thank you so much, Antonio, for having me on.
It's a pleasure, sir. And your book looks really good. I wish you the utmost success with it. It looks fantastic. You did not skimp. It looks like your team, you put together a really, really quality team to, do your art and your colors on there and all that. So, I mean, wow, tip of the hat to you. I wish you, as they say, bona fortuna, trying to Yeah, so the book looks really, really good. Hopefully, some of these good folks that are watching will open their wallets and throw down a few shekels. And yeah, man. But with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Back Outlaw Nights, guys. I'm out.